My parents were both born deaf. I was not. When people in the hearing world learn that about me, they always want to know more.
You start on your forehead and then go out with your hand.
I've always had one foot in the deaf world and one in the hearing world. I translated a lot for my parents. It made us closer. Now that it's been over a year since we've seen each other in person, communication is more important than ever. Especially with this guy.
Good now, Owen.
It's their first time being grandparents, so they don't want to miss a single moment. And I don't either. I can't wait for you to meet him. I'm what's called a coda.
Good morning. That was a video sponsored by Growth Google. And the purpose of that video was just to give you guys an insight of the projects that they're working on and how much community actually means to them. With that being said, we're going to get started with our workshop, which is make your small business more accessible. Hello and welcome. My name is James Mitchell. I am a marketing intern here at GWG, and the video we just saw is just about how much of an impact accessibility can make on a personal level. We will show you what it means to reach people with disabilities as a business owner. We'll go over best practices for making digital communications and physical stores accessible to all customers, and then we'll show you why taking these steps to be exclusive is so important to you and your business. Okay, with that being said, we'll get started. So today's workshop will discuss 1, what is accessibility? 2, design best practices. 3, email accessibility. 4, physical accessibility. And 5, being exclusive. So with that being said, let's get started. So what is accessibility? Accessibility ensures people with disabilities can perceive, understand, navigate, and interact with products and services, as well as tools. Accessibilities oftentimes can be done with the help of assistive technologies that breaks down those barriers within businesses. Accessibility also impacts over 1 billion people. The World Health Organization estimates over 1 billion people worldwide to live in some type of disability. That's 15% of the world's population, and 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. That means 25% of your potential customers in the U.S. have a disability. Another thing is to think about is that if you or your customers don't have a disability right now, you might in the future. It could be temporary, like an injury that requires that you use crutches, or something more permanent. Globally, people with disabilities have over $6 trillion in spending power. If your business isn't thoughtful about how to connect and communicate with these potential customers, you're missing out on a large group of people with significant resources. And that's where we get to building for accessibility. Developing accessible digital content called universal design could help. So what is that? Universal design allows people with disabilities to engage without barriers. It allows you to expand your markets. It allows you to improve the experience for all users, and it lessens your company's legal risk. So there's so many different ways we can do to make existing digital content more accessible to people with disabilities. Let's take a closer look at universal design. Universal design means designing for everyone, whether they have the disability or not. So universal design can help those with and without disabilities. better comprehend digital content. It includes many different techniques to help people comprehend digital content, including image descriptions, alternative text, color contrast, design techniques, formatting, and video captions, as well as transcripts. So let's explore a few of these examples. So let's start a quick exercise. How would you describe this image? It's coffee, yes. What else? Specifically, it's a white ceramic cup filled with black coffee on a saucer with a spoon. But with alternative text, context is key. You should ask, what meaning is this image supposed to convey? Is there a reason to include the amount of detail in the description? Alternative text should represent the content and the context and function of the image. The key principle is that computers and screen readers cannot analyze an image and determine what image presents and represents. Alternative text can be presented in two ways. One, within the alternative attribute of the image element, of course, and two, within the context of the surroundings of the image, or the context or surroundings of the image itself. So back to the image of the coffee, consider why it's on the web page. If its purpose is to help the user make a menu selection, coffee, the alternative text might simply just be coffee. If the purpose of the image is to sell a coffee and saucer set, alternative text might be white ceramic cup and saucer. If the purpose of this image was purely decorative, not adding any content or function, the alternative text might actually just be blank. So this is a big topic to unpack. There's a great resource article about alternative text called on webaim.org. WebAIM stands for Web Accessibility in Mind. This is a nonprofit organization based at the Institution for Disability Research, Policy, and Practice at Utah State University. And to find this article, just visit their website at webaim.org and search for alternative text. So when you add an image into your website, you have two distinct ways for visitors to understand it. Alternative text and descriptions. Alternative text is an abbreviation for ALT. It's sort of a behind-the-scenes label for any image on a website, though it cannot be seen on a web page, and it is picked by screen users. That means that a visually impaired person using a screen reader will hear the alternative text description of the image read out loud, giving them a full understanding of the information on the page. Alternative text also helps search engines properly categorize the content of websites, potentially improving the site's SEO. Alternative text is separate from captions. Descriptions are also visible. They will appear on the screen with the image. And without descriptions or alternative text altogether, a screen reader will miss that image as a part of the content. So let's talk about using images in your communications. So as mentioned, an unlabeled image will not be seen by a screen reader. The same is true for charts and graphs. Alternative text should be added to graphs, and they should be added to charts, offering a short description of the graph and chart, of course. In this case, there should be also a second description, a long description. This can be a caption or a link to a page with a detailed description. This is especially important for charts and complex information. The caption on this slide says, with the addition of 5 new training spaces over the course of the last year, we are now able to accommodate more people. It's helpful, but it can even go further. Here's a little bit more detailed information, informative caption. The number of waitlisted students begins in quarter 4 of 2016 as over 80 and steadily drops less than 40 by quarter 4 of 2017. The number of students classified as enrolled and attended rose over the same time period, reaching over 60, 80, and 60 respectively. In that caption, you have highlighted the key points of your reader, and they can examine the graph more closely for greater insights. So think about your audience to determine what level of detail is required for the caption. Also, it may be helpful to provide data in an alternative format, such as a spreadsheet, since assistive technology can sort, view, and parse the tabular data. You can also use the website coding to connect with descriptions with the associated image for the screen reader. Color is an important tool for making your content accessible, but not just colors. In making color choices for your content, it is important to take into consideration the contrast between uh, background and text. Colors should be dissimilar enough so that text is readable. And you see the image on the left side, it shows a low contrast image with color, and on the right, it shows a higher contrast of image with color. This is very, very important when dealing with customers that have accessibility needs. So let's go beyond color. So while color is powerful, relying on only color to indicate distinctions may leave behind 300 million people who have color blindness. Like for example, consider a traffic map that shows like clogged routes in red and roads with good traffic flow in green. If someone can't distinguish between green or red, how will they know which route has less traffic? So there are some design techniques that can help make it easier for people. So first, think of the color in search of high contrast. You know, the hue, light versus dark, saturation, intensity of the color, and brightness. Second, use thick lines. Use thicker lines as a design technique, or you can use various patterns of dashed lines. So don't always assume color conveys a specific meaning. Use textures to distinguish objects. Um, Add patterns or labels to ensure contrast in charts. And finally, don't forget to label elements like titles, legends, and XY axes. So here are some examples of design techniques we can use to we can get a sense of how high contrast, hue, saturation, and brightness works by translating this color on a color chart. See how stronger hues are on the color chart correlated to stronger grays. Remember that using contrast colors can make the numbers pop. So texting and formatting headers. This slide is pretty simple. So using formatting tools to organize content and documents is good, as well as assistive technology uses this to help people interpret the content. So using this on Google Docs can really do a number on your business. So now let's take a look at formatting text links. Well-written text links set the user's expectations about where the text will take them if they click on it. Take the first example. Visit Grow with Google homepage for free training, tools, and resources to help you grow your business, career, and skills. When you see that on the text, Grow with Google homepage, I assume that if I click on this link, I will be taken to a homepage that discusses the Grow with Google program. Linking only the words "this link" does not give me a clear idea of where I will land. Just as a screen reader users can navigate a page by headings, they can also jump into all links within a page via a link listing. Links that are not descriptive can cause confusion and make your website, document, or presentation difficult to navigate for screen reader users. Options to create video captions and transcripts are 1. Use automatic captioning. 2. Use automatic transcripts. 3. Create your own. 4. Have a vendor create for you. Now let's take a look at the way automatic captioning works in different platforms, starting with YouTube. For one, you would want to enable the audio translation feature in closed captioning. There is at the bottom of the video setting. There's settings called auto translate. You want to click that, or you can click the CC button that says closed captioning. Also, Vimeo allows users to toggle auto captioning as well, and you have the ability to turn it on and off during the event. TEDx allows you to select the language for subtitles, and subtitles play after a person selects their language. So there's that as well. And if you use TikTok, TikTok can automatically generate captions for videos with audio. Creators can turn this on and off as well. Some platforms offer video transcripts too. In YouTube, you can view an automatic transcript with or without timestamps. Transcripts can also be used to create video captions. You can ensure that all your video caption text is accurate by starting with the automatic transcript, editing if necessary, and then uploading it. So PDF documents, creating and sharing PDFs. PDF documents require effort to make accessible. PDFs with images and diagrams are generally not accessible. Even with text-only PDFs, that can be difficult to interpret. So in general, just try to avoid PDFs. Okay, let's talk about how you can make your email communications accessible. So there are a number of clear best practices to use in any email campaign to ensure it is accessible to all. Think about these steps when you are creating your email. So the best practices you can use is 1, being mindful of logical reading order. 2, use a one-column layout. 3, make the purpose of the hyperlinked text clear. 4, avoid emojis in the email subject line or to convey critical information. Also, you can also maintain a 60-40 text-to-image ratio. You can also avoid overusing links. You can also maintain a minimum 14-point font size. There's also maintaining a good contrast, avoiding visual cues based on colors. You can also include closed captioning for all videos. So far, we focused on accessibility considerations for online. Let's switch gears for a moment and talk about accessibility in your physical business space. So the best practices for that are removing obstacles from physical space, confirming access like elevators if you have some, wheelchair entrance, parking lots, etc. Understanding ADA regulations and complying with them, welcoming service animals and advertising that, also publicizing your support for accessibilities. In the end, accessibility is really about respecting the needs of others and understanding the challenges they may face. So I want to close the session by offering a few thoughts on what it means to be inclusive when you interact with someone who has disabilities. So with being inclusive, you don't want to make any assumptions. You want to speak normally, and if you're unsure, you want to ask. Also, you want to respect an individual's request and personal space. And if you'd like to learn more about accessibility, here we've listed a few resources for you on this slide. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning into this presentation. And it's a big topic with a lot of considerations. We hope you discover some new ways to help you make your business more accessible to people with disabilities. Thank you.